Hello guys, in this video I'm going to show you how to install the latest version of macOS 15 Sequoia on VMware. Now the first thing we have to do is download and install VMware, and to do that head to your browser. So initially, to download VMware, we just have to go to VMware official website, click on products, and under desktop hypervisors you can see Workstation Pro, and Workstation Player is no longer here. Now if we click on Workstation Pro, it should take us to this page, VMware Desktop Hypervisors. So if we scroll down here and then click on VMware Workstation Pro for PC, download now, it is now going to take us to Broadcom official website. That is because VMware is now part of Broadcom. Now to download VMware Pro, we have to create a Broadcom account. Now you can click on the login button right here and then click on register. Here you can create a Broadcom account which you can now use to sign in to download VMware. Now I already created a Broadcom account, so I'm just going to head into sign in. So let's log in with our username and password. So this is our Broadcom dashboard, and you can see under my downloads it is empty, and if you click on all products, nothing is working. If you click on products up here, it should take us to Broadcom product page. And if you scroll down, you wouldn't find VMware among the list of options here. And now if we go up, you're also going to see that VMware is now part of Broadcom. The VMware products can be found at the VMware products page. But if we click on the VMware products page, it's going to take us to the page we are coming from. Let's scroll down to VMware Workstation Pro, right? Since that's what we need, click on VMware Workstation Pro, and it is taking us to the page we are coming from. Now if you click on download now under VMware Workstation Pro for PC, it is still going to take us to the download page of Broadcom, which doesn't really present VMware that we initially want to download. Now I have a link to VMware blog where you can download VMware Workstation Pro from. So let me just paste the link there. I'll provide this link in the video description so you can head directly here. So this is a blog post that was made May 13th, 2024. And if you scroll down here, you can see Pro apps are now free for personal use and licensed for commercial use. So VMware Workstation Pro is now free. Down here you can see VMware Fusion Pro and VMware Workstation Pro download. So let's click on VMware Workstation Pro download, and it should redirect to VMware page on Broadcom. So here we go. This is VMware Workstation Pro for Windows, macOS and Linux. Now make sure to select Workstation Pro for personal use. If you go with the Workstation Pro for Windows, it is going to require you have a license, since this is not the personal use version. So let's click on the VMware Workstation Pro for personal use and select the version you want to download. This is the latest version at the moment, so you can go with whichever version you want, and then click on I agree to terms and conditions right here. I agree. Now you can click on the download button by the side here, and it should start downloading VMware Workstation Pro. Download complete. Now let's close our browser and head to our download folder. So this is VMware Workstation Pro we just downloaded. Now let's double click to run. Next. Agree to the terms. Next. 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 And then install. On VMware Workstation Player, we had limitations like not being able to run more than one virtual machine, VM snapshot, VM cloning, sharing your virtual machine, nested virtualization, and many more. And now we can now do all of that and more for free using VMware Pro. Now click on finish. Now we can run VMware Workstation Pro from our desktop. Now select use VMware Workstation 17 for personal use. This is totally free, and then continue. Finish. Okay, so after installing VMware, the next thing we have to do is download macOS Sequoia installer file. And to do that, let's head to our browser and then head to Mediafire. I'll provide this link in the video description so you can directly download macOS Sequoia ISO. So just click on download and it should start downloading. The size is around 16 gigabytes, so you know what to expect. Next, we also have to download Auto Unlocker by Polo Project. So open a new tab and then search for Auto Unlocker. Now click on the link to Polo Project's Auto Unlocker for VMware. I'll also provide this link in the video description. And then click on the latest release by the side right here. Now you can see Auto Unlocker zip file, which we can download by clicking on it right here. After downloading macOS Sequoia ISO and Auto Unlocker, we can then close our browser and then open our download folder. And here we go. This is macOS Sequoia ISO and this is Auto Unlocker. So first, extract Auto Unlocker. We can delete the zip. Now the reason why we are using Auto Unlocker is to unlock certain features of VMware. By default, if we create a new virtual machine and then continue, you can see that we are not getting the option for macOS. We can only install Windows, Linux, and VMware ESX. So to get the option to select macOS, you have to install Auto Unlocker, and that is why we're using it. So open the extracted folder and then run Auto Unlocker. Now before clicking on patch, make sure you close VMware, else this won't work. So let's close VMware and then click on patch. And patch is successful. Click on OK, close this, open VMware again. Now let's create a new virtual machine. Next, this time we're going to select an installer disk image file. Browse, locate your download folder and then select our macOS Sequoia ISO. Open. Next, and then you can see right here we now have macOS X. Now set the version to macOS 14. I know we are trying to install macOS 15, but the update for macOS 15 is not yet available on Auto Unlocker, so in a few months it should be up, but this should still work regardless. So let's set it to macOS 14 and then next. Set the macOS virtual machine name to whatever you want. I'm just going to call it macOS Sequoia 15. And then here you can set the location of your virtual machine. You can leave it at the default location unless you want to change it to somewhere else. Next, set the maximum disk size. I would recommend anything around 60 gigabytes upward. Now also take note, you can't give more than the available storage you have. So in my case, I have around 63 gigabytes available. So I wouldn't give more than that. Now I'm going to set it to 60 gigabytes. Next, customize hardware. Now under memory, this is your RAM. You can set to whatever you want. I'm going to give this around 6 gigs of RAM, and that is because I have 16 gigs on my PC. Now you shouldn't give more than 40% of your hardware to your virtual machine, else it will slow down your host computer. Next, set the processor section. Number of processors, we have one processor on our PC, and my processor has 4 cores and 8 threads. To check, open Task Manager, Ctrl+Shift+Escape, and then go to Performance, click on CPU, and you should see right here, 1 socket, 4 cores, 8 threads. Now we can give it 2 cores, which is around 50%, and we can click on Close. Now click on Finish. Now let's power on this virtual machine. First, we're going to set a language for the installation, so I'm going with English. Continue. Next, we're going to go to disk utility, so we can erase the disk and then install macOS. So continue. Now you can see VMware Virtual SATA hard drive right here. Click on erase and then give it whatever name you want. I'm just going to call this macOS 15. Erase. Now click on done. Let's close this. Now select install macOS 15 beta. Continue. Continue. Now agree to the terms and continue. Select the drive you want to install macOS Sequoia and then continue. Now you should start installing. This should take around 30 minutes to 45 minutes. And the installation is complete. Now you can set based on your personal preference. So we're going to set our country and region. Set everything else the way you want it. Now don't sign in to your Apple account yet, because we are going to apply smbios patch, so the VM would have a unique serial. So let's set up later. Agree to the terms. Now set up your user account. Continue. You can go with the light mode or the dark mode, whichever you prefer. I'm just going to go with the light mode. And the installation is complete. Now there are a few things we need to do before we can start using our macOS Sequoia VM. Firstly, if we go to the Apple logo up here and then click on about this Mac, now so you can see the graphics memory is around 3 megabytes, which is extremely slow, and our Mac doesn't have any profile. You can just see a Mac with the processor. The graphics memory is very slow, and this is just a random serial number which every other person using this installer file is using. So we have to change the serial number and then work on the display to get a better display graphics. I know we can't get GPU pass-through to use our actual GPU in this virtual machine, but we could get a better display memory of around 128 megabytes. And to do that, all we need to do is install VMware tools. Initially you could go to VM and then install VMware tools, but if you try that now, it is not working, and that is probably due to the changes in the download server after VMware was acquired by Broadcom. So just click on OK. Now I already uploaded VMware tools on my website eTechBox, which you can download. So let's head to our browser. Now I'll provide this link in the video description so you can head directly to this page, and then from here we can download VMware tools. We also need to download GenSMBIOS, which we are going to use to generate a unique serial for our Mac. So let's open a new tab and then search for GenSMBIOS. Now you can see the first link to GitHub. Click on it. I'm also going to provide this link in the video description. Now click on code and then you can now download zip. Now after downloading both files, we can close our browser and then open our download folder. So here we go. This is GenSMBIOS and this is Darwin. Now extract VMware tools, which is Darwin right here. And on our VMware Workstation player right here, first let's eject macOS 15 beta. Eject. Now go to VM, removable devices, CD/DVD, and then go to settings. Under settings, you can see use ISO image file. Click on browse, locate your download folder, open Darwin, and then select our disk image file Darwin right here. Now click on OK. Now go back to VM, removable devices, CD/DVD, and then connect. Now click on install VMware tools. Continue. Continue. Install. Enter your password to confirm. Allow. Now if you get any prompt like this, click on open system settings and then scroll to the end and you should find a prompt. System software from developer VMware was blocked. Click on allow. Enter your password as well. And we need to restart to continue the installation. So click on restart. Now let's log in. And then we can run the installation again. So let's close system settings and then click on install VMware tools again. Continue. Continue. Install. And it should install this time. Enter your password. And the installation is complete. Now click on restart. Now instead of restarting, we're just going to power off. So click on power off right here. Now head back to your download folder and right here extract GenSMBIOS. So now we have to generate a unique serial for our macOS installation. So open GenSMBIOS, open GenSMBIOS master, and then run GenSMBIOS Windows batch file. So just double click on it. Now you need a text file, which I'm just going to paste in the video description. You can see notes right here. So if you open this file, you can see some configurations that we would have to adjust. So you can just copy this text from the video description. Now you can see right here in this text file for SMBIOS, there is something called hw model, which is the model of Mac we are trying to replicate, and that is MacBook Pro 16,4. And we can also see a suite for serial number and the rest of them. So on GenSMBIOS, we are firstly going to select one to install and update Mac serial. Now we're going to enter 3 to generate SMBIOS. And we are going to generate SMBIOS for Mac Pro 16,4. So let's just copy that, paste, hit enter. So you can see the serial, board serial, UUID, and Apple ROM. First we copy the serial, and then on our note file we're going to paste it in this section for serial number. Next we copy the ROM and paste it in the ROM section as well. Replace the hash. And lastly we copy MLB, which is the board serial, and then paste it here as well. So we now have everything ready. So let's copy everything from board ID down to MLB right here. Ignore this SMBIOS, this is just a normal text. Copy. And then we have to open our VMware configuration file, which we can find right here. You can see configuration file, and this is the location. So let's open this location on our PC. In my case, it is in Documents, Virtual Machines, macOS Sequoia 15, and you can see Virtual Machine configuration file right here. Let's right click and then open with Notepad. Choose another app. Notepad. Okay, now hold Ctrl F and then search for firmware. Now you can see firmware equal to EFI. After that, go down and then paste everything we copied there, our board serial and everything else. Save. Next, search for Ethernet, and you can see Ethernet connection is set to NAT. Address type is set to generated. Change it from generated to static. Now let's go down again, find next, and you should see Ethernet generated address. Now change it from generated address to just Ethernet 0.address. So we're just going to remove the generated text, and the value here we have to set it to an actual Mac network address. So you can use any of the options on your screen. We need to replace the first 3 values and then leave the rest. So in my case, it's going to be 000393. And then Ethernet 0.generated address offset, change that to Ethernet 0.check Mac address. Now this is case sensitive, so type it exactly as seen, and then set the value to false. Now we can Ctrl S to save, and then close our configuration file, close everything else, and then let's power on our virtual machine again. Now let's sign in with our password, and we are done with the setup. Now we can close VMware Tools and then eject VMware Tools from our desktop. Now let's go to About This Mac, and you can see it now has a display of 128 megabytes, which is way better than how it was before. 16-inch 2019 MacBook Pro, and you can see the serial number. Now you can sign into Apple and use Apple services. If this video was helpful, kindly hit the subscribe button and turn on your post notification. Thank you for watching, and I will see you on the next one.